beat and muddy here. As you can see, I got the transaxle all back apart. It's in a bunch of pieces. The axle. Well, this is why. I had it all back together, had it testing it out, testing out the locker. Worked good. Nothing went wrong with that. But it kept popping out of gear and making some horrific sounds. Let me go get the old ones. I go to my bucket of stuff. There they are. Alright. Well, these are your shifting keys that hook onto here, and then you have these little nubs right there. Those little nubs are what actually click into your gears and make them work. Select what gear you want, blah blah blah. Well, like I said, it was popping out of gear, and this would be why. So that big chunk missing out of that one, that's obviously not supposed to be there. And this one, focus. This one's not as bad, but it's rounded over a little bit. I can't get my phone to focus on that one. But that one right there is definitely the issue. Big chunk missing. Well, anyway, had another gear set thing, so I took the shift keys out of that one, put it in this one. Basically what you gotta do is you gotta pull all your gears off from here, and then in this snap ring right here, you can take it off, but in the snap ring itself, let's see if I can find the right spot. Right there. I don't know if you notice it. Right there in the snap ring, there's a little dip out where you can pull these shift keys right straight through that without taking it off. But you can take it off if you want. It's not that big of a deal. You can put it all back together. Excuse me. And you put it all back together the way you had it, and then put it back in your case. Hopefully that solves my problem. I think it will. Like I said, with this shift key here, with that big chunk taken out of it, I can see why it was, you know, skipping gears. But other than that, the transaxle worked, the locker worked, both tires were spinning. I had it doing 4th gear donuts in my backyard on the ice. So I didn't get any videos of that. Kind of hard to video myself with my cell phone. But anyway, I went out and bought a couple of lock collars, because I've had the suggestion a few times to put lock collars there instead of washers. Well, I don't know if you can see and tell or not on the video, but that lock collar is like just a whisker too wide, so it won't fit in between the locker and the thrush washer that lands here. So I'm going to take my grinder and just grind that edge flatter, because it's kind of got a little bit of a round. So I think if you just grind it down just a little bit more, give it a little bit more clearance. But other than that, I think it'll work perfect. I think they'll fit right in. I think that'll work. And that'll be better than the snap ring that I have here. But like I said, this is one way to do it. This is another way to do it. Since I have it apart because of the gear selector, I'm just going to go ahead and put those back in. Or I put those in. I want to put it all back together. I think that's really about it. Like I said, just take your time when you take this all apart. There's thrush washers in between every gear, and all the gears got to go back in the right spot. Reverse gear, actual drive, I'm not real sure. That goes on the end right here. What would that connect to? I think that connects to that side of that one. Which, I mean, not 100% sure. I gotta have it back together to know exactly which way it goes. But like I said, if you just take it apart, pay attention to what you're doing, you can put it back together with ease. It's not hard. That took me 5 minutes to take it apart, put the new keys in, and get to this point. So, not real hard. Buster. See if we can see through the window. It's cold out. I don't want to go outside. I got the steering all back to working. I got my stoppers in, all that stuff. But I don't have a very good turning radius. It absolutely sucks. So I'm going to see if I can get that a little bit more. Shorten my steering linkage, mess with a couple linkages, and see if I can't get more steering out of it. This year, I am making a trailer for my kids, so they can come out with me this year and just putt around in the backyard and or on the trails. Nothing crazy. I'm going to put an actual trailer axle in it, one of the trailers that go on the back of one of these tractors. I'm going to put that axle in for the wheels so it makes it wider. So I got 2 seats mounted to it. I'm going to have just a regular ball, trailer ball, one of them. That's going to be the hitch. I'm just going to hitch that right to my tractor, weld it all on. And then I have a reach hitch. You can actually tow any trailer at that point with it. But I'm making it for this one. You said this is something a little for the kids to get out on the weekends with me. And I'm going to put armrests and seat belts and a roll bar. If you don't put the roll bar, I wouldn't recommend the seat belts just in case it does tip over, but I don't think it will, having the trailer axle on it. So, but just for an extra precaution, and it would look kind of cool, I'm going to put roll bars, seat belts, and like I said, there'll be armrests. I'm thinking about throwing a steering wheel in each side so the kids have a steering wheel to play with or whatever while they're sitting in the seat, getting towed through the trail. Yeah, just a fun little project I started. Saw somebody else on a mud mower site on Facebook that made something similar, so I figured I'd try to make one. I had seats. I had this is the same body as Buster, same frame, the original frame that was on it, until I switched it over to the John Deere solid C-channel frame. This was what it was. You get the seats just solidly mounted. I have another Murray seat just like that one on the back. I'm thinking I might solidly mount that seat onto Buster. I kind of like the way that one feels when you're sitting on it. Not real sure yet. That one, it's just bolted. It's not welded or anything, so it can come right back off. So I might be able to do the same thing to Buster. Possibility. It's there. Like I said, this was just a little update on this, and just show you guys what happens, what to fix if you're popping out of gear, but your transmission is not broken. And you're popping out of gears, 90% of the time going to be those shift keys, and that's going to be the problem. Big chunk taken out of it. Other than that, like I said, it's just a little update. Once I get it all back together and running again, I will see if I can't get somebody to videotape me doing another test run with it to see if it holds up. But so far, I know it's only snow out, but it held up in the snow. Like I said, I was doing 4th gear, 5th gear, somewhere in there. Donuts in my backyard. So, I think it was worth it. Until the next video, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Beard and Mutter out.